Hello, my lovely friends. I'm so happy you're here today again. Come in, get comfortable, grab your favorite drink, wrap yourself in a soft blanket if you have one, and let's spend a little time together. Today, I want to talk about something almost everyone carries inside their heart: fear of failure. It sounds like such a big thing, doesn't it? But if we are honest, most of us don't stop because we are lazy. We stop because we are scared. Scared of making mistakes, scared of looking silly, scared that people might judge us, scared that we will try our best and still fail. If that sounds like you are not alone. Let's imagine something together. Picture a little child learning to walk. Have you ever seen a baby give up after falling once? Of course not. That they fall, they cry, they stand up again, and they fall again and again. Sometimes hundreds of times. But nobody looks at the baby and says, "Whoa, maybe walking just isn't for you." No. Everyone smiles, everyone cheers because falling is expected. It's part of learning. So here's my question. Why do we become so hard on ourselves when we grow up? Somewhere along the way, we started believing that mistakes means we are not good enough. And if we fail once, we should quit. But that's simply not true. Let me tell you a little story. Imagine there are two people, both dream of opening a small bakery. The first person spends years planning. They buy notebooks, watch videos, take courses, read business books, design logos, create menus, but they never open the bakery because they are waiting for the perfect time. The second person, they open a tiny bakery on the first day. Only three customers come. The cookies are a little too hard. One cake doesn't turn out right. They make mistakes, lots of them. But every week they improve. 1 year later, their little bakery is full of happy customers. Now tell me who succeeded? The person who never failed or the person who kept going after every mistake? Exactly. Success doesn't belong to perfect people. It belongs to people who keep showing up. Here's something funny. Have you ever sent a text and immediately wished you could take it back? Maybe you sent it to the wrong person. Maybe autocorrect embarrassed you. Maybe you accidentally sent a voice note. It feels like the end of the world. Happens to me all the time. For about 5 minutes, then life goes on. Most mistakes are like that. They feel huge in the moment, but later they are just funny stories. Sometimes we imagine failure as a giant monster waiting around the corner, but when we finally face it, it's often much smaller than we expected. Here's another thought. What if failure isn't the opposite of success? What if it's part of success? Think about learning to cook. The first pancake probably burned, second maybe too salty somehow, the third getting better. Eventually, you make pancakes so good that everyone asks for seconds. Imagine if you stopped after the first burnt pancake. You would never know how good you could become. Life works the same way. Every skill begins with being bad at it. Every expert was once a beginner. Every confident speaker once felt nervous. Every artist once drew messy pictures. Every writer once started at a blank page. Every successful person has a collection of failure they rarely talk about. We usually only see the finished picture, not the hundreds of rough drafts behind it. Can I share a little secret? Sometimes we are not actually afraid of failing. We are afraid of what people might think. What if they laugh? What if they judge me? What if they think I'm not smart enough? But here's the truth. People are far more busy thinking about their own lives than yours. The things keeping you awake at night. Most people won't even remember tomorrow. Isn't that freeing? Here's a little challenge. Think about one thing you have been putting off. Maybe starting a YouTube channel, learning a new skill, applying for a job, writing a book, starting a small business, or simply speaking up more. Now ask yourself, what is the worst realistic thing that could happen? Maybe it doesn't work. Okay, then what? You learn, you adjust, you try again. Now ask yourself something even more important. What if it doesn't work? What if your life changes because you finally took the first step? Sometimes we are so focused on the personality focused on the possibility of failure that we completely ignore the possibility of success. Imagine standing at the edge of the swimming pool. You keep wondering, what if the water is cold? What if I can't swim well? What if I look awkward? Meanwhile, everyone else is already laughing and enjoying themselves. Sometimes you simply have to jump, not because you are fearless, but because your dreams matter more than fear. Here's something I want you to remember. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is taking one small step. Even while your hands are shaking and those small steps, they add up. One page becomes a book, one video becomes a channel. One customer becomes a business, one workout becomes a healthier body. One kind conversation becomes a friendship. Everything beautiful starts small. If you have failed before, please don't let that define your future. Your story isn't over. One chapter doesn't decide the ending. Imagine your favorite movie ending after the first problem appeared. That would be a terrible movie. The hero struggles, gets knocked down, makes mistake, almost gives up, and then keeps going. That's what makes the ending meaningful. Maybe you are in the middle of your story, not the end. So don't choose the book too soon. Close the book too soon, not the end. So don't close the book too soon, my friends. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need everyone's approval. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need enough courage to take the next step. One step, that's all. And then another and another. Until one day you look back and realize the life you wanted was waiting on the other side of fear. Before we end today's little chat, I want to leave you with one question. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you start today? Take a moment to think about it. Maybe the answer is trying to tell you something. Thank you for so keep thinking and do let me know in the comments. So thank you for spending these quiet moments with me. If today's conversation made your heart feel a little lighter, I hope you will come back for our next cozy chat. Until then, be kind to yourself, be patient with your journey, and remember, the only real failure is never giving yourself chance to begin. Take care, my lovely friends. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.